Guys, over the years of this channel, I've gotten to work with a lot of companies, but few of them have been as much fun to work with as Vosteed because they're always sending something fun to look at. So today we're going to look at one of their mini knives, and I really like it a lot. So let's turn this around and take a look at the Mini-Labrador from above. All right, guys, we have to talk about this. Vosteed has been putting out a lot of great knives recently. Some of their mini knives have been great, and this is no exception. This is the Vosteed Mini-Labrador in 14C28N. And for a mini knife, this thing has got it's got it where it counts, guys. So let's do some boring stuff. We'll get some size comparison out of the way. We'll do some specs and all of that, and then we'll get into the really cool things about this knife. So as far as specs, you're looking at a 2.73 inch 14C28N blade that's been PVD coated. Now this does come in a non-coated version. Your overall length is 6.23 inches. Your blade width, 0.72 inches, which is not a very wide blade, but we're going to talk about something cool about this. It is a flat ground blade done in a drop point. This thing is coming in with a weight of 1.93 ounces. So, and it is a flipper only. Let's do some quick size comparisons. Your first knife for comparison is Spyderco Paramilitary 2. You can see it's not a very big knife, but it does cut well above its weight class. So your next knife, the Benchmade 940, a knife that almost everyone's going to know, probably one of the best known knives in the knife industry. You can see not a big knife. And then your final knife, as always, is the Chris Reeves Sebenza large 21. You can see not a big knife. So let's get this out of the way and talk about this knife. So even though this is a small knife, I don't think you're giving up a lot. There are some things that you do compromise on with a smaller knife like this, but I'll tell you what didn't get compromised is the way they did this knife. So Vosteed did this 14C28N drop point blade. Like I said, a little bit narrow blade, but what they've done is this full flat grind comes down to a really nice behind the edge thickness. So it still cuts really well. A lot of times when you have a narrower blade like this, what happens is you get a thicker edge, and they've done a very, very good job on this. It is in a frame lock that is very, very smooth. The snap, the action on that is really good. The flipper tab is just about perfect for a knife this size. It is a little bit larger. It kind of does stick out a little more so, as my friend Nick Shabazz would call it, a pocket pecker. But it does work really well, and you've got great access to it. Great access to the lock bar to disengage the lock. Another thing that didn't get compromised is material. So this is titanium and 14C28N, and they did not compromise and just give it a ugly bent wire clip or one of those crappy off-the-shelf deep carry pocket clips that a lot of companies use. What you've got here is an easy to disassemble knife. There's technically only two screws. You've got one screw here and one screw here, your pivot and your pocket clip. And it looks to me as though this pocket clip is reversible with just that one screw. So having just the two screws means that it gives it a nice clean look, and it is a little bit more minimal. Sorry about that. The camera cut off. What I was saying is a little bit more minimal, and it gives it nice clean lines. The pocket clip is a milled clip, and it is a very, very good pocket clip. In and out of pocket, it's great. And this does not take up this takes up almost no space in your pocket. And even though it is small, I can still get a good 3-finger grip on this. And it's a comfortable knife to cut with. It's not that bad, even though it is fairly small. Like I said, the action on it's really good. Vosteed's mini knives just are really some of the better mini versions of knives that are out there. They've really hit the mark with like the mini Nightshade, this one, and then the Corgi Pup, which is a smaller version of the Corgi. So I haven't had any issues with this really to speak of since it came. Now, with any knife, there's going to be some... Oh, I was going to already tell you, I've cut a bunch of cardboard and stuff with this, and the finish has held up pretty well. And a lot of that has to do, I wanted to make sure I mentioned this, a lot of that has to do with the stonewashing of the finish. It just seems to take a little bit of the matteness away from a finish and just give it a little bit less friction. And it just seems to hold up, but it definitely cuts better once they've been stonewashed. So I like the look of this knife. There is a satin version of this out there. And I know I probably put it down below, but there will be a link to this knife for purchase in the description below. So let's go ahead. We're going to flip this around. Flip side of the story, flip side of the knife. Okay, there's a couple little things about this knife, and most of it is just size related. As much as this is a very, very good EDC knife, it doesn't fit the bill for as many things for me because it is as small as it is. For like, if you're just in an office setting and you don't need to do much in the way of cutting, I'm sure it'd be fine. And at my current workplace, this would be a great knife. But if you're going to do a little bit of heavier cutting, this thing can get uncomfortable in the cut if you're really having to bear down because it is smaller. It definitely does feel small when you're doing some heavier cutting. Now, if you're just cutting up some cardboard and stuff, not a problem at all. Next thing, while the pocket clip is great, this is got a very, very hard edge on it. So in and out of pocket, it just feels, it has a tendency to want to bind up going in your pocket. So you've got the pocket clip really close to that cutout for the lock bar. You can see that's a fairly hard edge. That just kind of bothers me a little bit, that it does catch going into pockets, especially thicker pockets. The next thing, there is a bit of a hot spot right here because that lock bar drops in fairly far, and then you can see it's not like it's over traveling, but it drops in a fair distance, and then you have that hard edge exposed. And on a smaller knife where you're really having to bear down, you definitely can feel that in the corner of your finger. And then final thing, I wish you could see how this ramps up a little bit. You can see how the plunge like radius is down in. I wish that the plunge had come back further, or this grind had come out a little bit further, because that's going to give you a thick spot and a smile. It's already got a bit of a smile to it from jump. So I haven't sharpened this yet, but I have carried a lot. I do like this as a small mini option to carry in addition to maybe something larger that is going to be a little bigger than you want for some tasks like this. Sorry, as much as I like this knife, it can be a little unwieldy because it is too large. So in concert with this, carrying this in your pocket with a large knife works out great. So is it a yup or a not? It's a yup. I'm going to put a link down below. You guys should probably check it out. I have a discount with them. I believe I have a coupon code with them. I'll make sure that I let you guys know for sure. So let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, and send you out about your day. There you go, guys. I mean, for a mini knife, this thing's great. And some of their mini knives, I mean, Vosteed's mini knives, the last three that they've sent me, the mini nightshade, the corgi pup, and then this one, they've just been good knives, not just good mini knives. They've been good knives, period. So I think they're really just kind of killing it. And like, if the nice thing is, if you like this design and you want something larger, there's a larger version of it. So with that being said, guys, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, hit the bell icon. There are a lot of links down below that support the channel, from Blade HQ, GP Knives, Knives Ship Free, all of those. Use that for any knife shopping you do. You can also take my Amazon store, pin that to your browser, and use it for any Amazon shopping you do. Those do not cost you anything extra at checkout. There's a couple links down there actually have discounts built in, Coffee Brain Coffee and Tempered Trail. Discounts built into those links. And if you want to save money other ways, I have got a coupon code of crazysharp, all one word, all lowercase, that works and saves you 10% at Rosecraft Blades, Farmforge Knife Works, KATSU Knives, and if there's still stock left of anything, 40% off all the knives at Beyond EDC. I also have a membership down below where you can get into exclusive content, premium sharpening tutorial series, and giveaways that I do. There's also a private Discord. I have a public Discord as well that's down below. Guys, that's it on this one. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comments section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I'll see you in the next video.